Well, hello friends, Joseph here. Welcome back to some Hearthstone as we try and crawl our way to the single-digit rank 5 plateau. And we are decided to bring a little bit of a control shaman because I've been seeing a whole lot of aggro style decks, and we've queued into what seems to be a Jade Golem Druid, which is going to be probably awful for us. But we'll go ahead and see if we can turn this into some sort of a game. So the idea behind this deck is that it is a Barnes Control Shaman, in that we have Barnes and only really highly costed and reasonably strong Barnes pulls in the deck, for minions at least. And then we have a whole bunch of the Shaman early game AoE removal, including Elemental Destruction, which can be a little bit crazy strong. And if we hadn't coined last turn, if our opponent plays something else, I think we will Elemental Destruction Lava Shock here and a swipe. That's okay. Our opponent did get an early game ramp, which I cut out a lot of the super early game passing back and forth because I feel like there's no problem oftentimes in my videos to do that. I feel like this is a reasonable Elemental Destruction. Oh, but we can't even Elemental Destruction and then do it. So I'm going to Thalnos and Spirit Claws. The long lost. Oh, actually, maybe we should have saved that as well, actually. But that's okay. So we are running Lava Shock. Okay, so sorry. I cut myself off. I was thinking maybe we should have saved the Thalnos for a Lightning Bolt the following turn, but that's okay. Because we're probably going to Elemental Destruction Lava Shock, and then because we have the Lava Shocks in the deck... Oh, this is setting up to be a pretty juicy Elemental Destruction, that's for sure. And the only problem is we don't have anything to follow it up with. A Hex. Hex is not a great card to follow Elemental Destruction up with. And I don't mind... Oh, I really don't mind doing this now. Because we're going to go ahead, Lava Shock everyone. Everyone's done. 2 to face. Obviously not great. Totem, and then say go. And now we're going to have a really strong turn 8 and a really strong turn 9. And if things get out of control, like if there's a... That's not out of control. I don't mind that at all. So now we're looking pretty good, I think, because our late game is going to be a little bit better for at least a few turns now. Unless this Jade continues to ramp like crazy. And if they do, well, then we have some hexes to help deal with that. And we also have a couple devolves, which... That's okay. I don't mind hitting that. Druid isn't known for their great single target removal. No one runs BGH anymore because it's no bueno. And I think we're basically... Well, you know what? Mulch being gone is kind of fine because then Ysera's going to get to stick. Ancient of War is kind of an option if we need to. Oh, just cycling to draw. Wow, attacking their own minion. I dig it. When you're desperate, you got to do... You get to see fun plays like that here. Look at these rank 7 plays. Am I right? Am I right? I don't know. I've seen basically the same style of decks here as I have basically everywhere else on the ladder. I am at 10 health though. I think we're going to go ahead and taunt. I think that's probably the safest thing to do right now. And then we have a few in this deck. I know I've talked about this deck a whole bunch, but because it's the first time I've played it, and actually I think the last video that I uploaded was Barnes Shaman. But we have Halaziel in order to do a whole bunch of... Is that going to be a draw? Oh, good, good, good. That's a good gutsy move. That's what you have to do if you want to win, I think. That's like the winning play. Like if you want to try and do some trading, you do 3 and attack in and do something else. Oh, okay, now we're going to be in big trouble. Oh, Feral Rage. That's not excellent for us, that's for sure. Top decking Malagos is okay if these both trade in here, which they have to, because otherwise I'm just going to destroy. If we top deck Malagos, that's pretty good. Oh, Living Roots 2 to face, plus 2 on board. So that kind of scares us. This now lets us be less scared. So I forgot to Squelch. So what I'm going to do, I'm thinking of doing Halaziel for 5. Then we heal for 3. But we should probably heal first. Okay, so the idea is here, if we had a spell power we could go Spell Power, Halaziel, heal for a bunch, and then punch the rest. But since we can't, I like Totem Hex. And I don't mind using one of my attacks here. That's really unfortunate that we couldn't get the Ysera out, but because my health was so low, Druid still does have... Our opponent still has one swipe, and they have a couple potential Druids of the Claw, I think, that we kind of want to play around, because you don't want to get bursted down like that. Oh, that's upsetting that our opponent got another good drawing here. I don't know what this card is. This has been held onto for a few turns. Maybe it is reactionary. That's less great. But I think we got a chance here. Just going to go face a little. That's okay. We're going to get a good Hex off, or we could get a Devolve, actually. Oh, if only we'd had an Emperor Thaurissan earlier in the game to help us out. I feel like the Hex might be the better play. So this is going to be 3. And again, we're not developing a minion, which I think is going to be the wrong way to go. I think we need to go 3. Play the 5. And then go for the 3 here. As much as I feel like this is bad. Actually, we could just devolve now. I'm going to devolve now. Yeah. That's better. 3/6 is much more reasonable for us to deal with. And again, we get to ping away one of those. And the reason I like this is now it sets us up if we have time to play Yashiraj. Or we can try Ysera. Or if we need to, we can do some devolve lightning bolt things. And there's a swipe. Okay, so it was a reactionary card. Not setting up for a lethal, our opponent. Now the issue is now, hopefully... Okay, so this was definitely the correct play right now. It looks like, unless a Jade comes down here. 4 or 5. This to me seems like how we're going to be able to win. Hopefully we draw something awesome. Earth Elemental is pretty good. 10 mana, 17, 18 taunt is pretty good, I guess. This is going to stop most things that our opponent gets to throw out. And then next turn we'll be able to Ysera. That's okay. We just punch right through that. Ooh, no, no, no. We are going to definitely do this. Oh! Yeah, that was my plan all along. Because I wanted to get the 10 to face. Whoops. Oh no, it's supposed to be the other way around. And so this is obviously like the ultimate. You coin Barnes out on 3, and then you summon a 1/1 Yashiraj, which then pulls something else, like a real Ysera, and then you just have the craziest turn 3 of all time. Maybe not of all time. I know we've seen more ridiculous things. This is actually not even... This is not even end times right now, because we still got a chance here. Our opponent really is feeling a little bit of pressure from us right now, which is cool. I dig it. I definitely wish we had done the attack the other way last turn, but that's okay. Now we're going to attack properly. Oh, wait. We still have space, right? Yeah, we have space for one more pull. So we're going to not totem here. And we get, oh, a nice Emperor. And we get another Ysera card. And this is basically how this deck is able to win, even against control, against what people often complain as being the oppressive control deck with the Jade Druids. And we continue to sit at 500 in the rank 7s. And we are catching us midway through another Barnes Shaman game as we've queued into a buff paladin who got off a couple good buffs early on. Oh, and I just missed. I was able to devolve a buffed Senjin Shieldmaster and Acolyte of Pain, which is why we're seeing this fun card. Not normally a card we would see very often on the ladder, I don't think. And so with the Acolyte of Pain being buffed, it kind of lets me think that this is probably some sort of buff deck that runs a bunch of the draw cards, as that has now become the more popular style. True Silver. Oh, ooh. You don't even need to waste the 1/1, dude. Just inspire it up. Oh, doesn't understand the cards that he has. That's okay. I'm totally okay with that. So because this deck, the one that we're playing, has 2 devolves and 2... Yeah, see, that +1 attack, dude. Super strong. How do we want to do this? I don't want to Sylvanas now. Kind of don't even want to waste the... I could Earth Elemental and then Lava Shock this down. That's 5 mana, and then we also get a Totem. Kind of wasteful in the idea that we might need to Elemental Destruction later, but I feel like this is just a lot of power right now on board, so I kind of like it for that reason. And if we get Aldored, well, then we get Aldored. It's still not enough to take him out, because that 8 health is still going to remain. I would imagine it would. And right now I think our opponent only has 1 card that's been buffed left. And that's not it coming out. Yeah, the shiny one is here. We can kind of see just a couple sparkles. Oh, Keeper of Ultimate. That's a little bit worse. There's no doubt about it. But because we got that Aldora, or that Lava Shock, I think we're going to be a little bit more okay. And because this is buff Paladin, I am imagining, in my mind at least, I could be completely off base, that we're going to be a little bit spell power. Oh, thank you. That we're going to be a little bit less susceptible to Equality Consecrate. Although I imagine people, I imagine that these buff decks are going to be less heavy on the buffs, because when the expansion first came out, everyone didn't like Grimy Goons because they were too weak. And the idea was if you throw nothing but buffs into a deck, they aren't actually strong. Like this, very, very strong card, but really, okay, now, and we're going to see how many spells we have here as well in hand, which is going to be very useful for us. And unfortunately, possibly force out an Elemental Destruction. We're going to have 9-3. Everything. Oh, that's actually really good for us. We're going to be able to go 2+5, so that's pretty good. This is 5+6 damage, so we're clearing the board. And I'm going to Elemental Destruction here, which is unfortunate because we're overloaded as heck for next turn. But then we're going to coin out a Sylvanas, which means our opponent cannot play a Rag or other Rag or Tyrion, which is very good. And it's also going to allow us to kind of have a slower turn next turn, because we are now overloaded 5. 50% of our mana is going to be overloaded, but that's okay. I kind of want to Earth Elemental to keep the pressure up, but at the same time I kind of just want to get Yashiraj out so that we're always going to be ahead. Which means, you know, no Earth Elemental next turn. Hopefully we top deck something sweet like a Barnes into Ysera. That's always a good play, right? That's a pretty good one, I think. So our opponent obviously now might be kind of stuck. Some of their cards might be too high. Might be able to do some steals, things like that. They're going to just kind of probably debate what it is that they want to throw into Sylvanas. If they have another 5/5, they'd probably want to do that the most. Oh. This is now kind of upsetting for us because, okay, so now all the cards in our opponent's hand have been really buffed twice. And the reason now I decided to actually go with this is because this 1/1 on board would just freely trade with Sylvanas, and I still want to get Sylvanas value at the end of the day. So our opponent still can't play. I mean, that's a good trade. There's no doubt about it. That's a good trade. Oh, oh, and now we're gonna steal one of these 4/3s, which is kind of nice. And we hope not the 1/1. So 67%, 66% to get a good result. That's a pretty good result for us, I think. And only 2 buffed cards left in hand, so that's very good as well for us. So now we have options, and I'm gonna Halazeal and go a little bit, I don't want to say all in, but we are committing then to Yashiraj to be our win condition here, which I don't think is unreasonable, to be honest with you. Super strong card. Coming up against buff Paladin, not going to be running Equality too often. Maybe it gets Peacekeepered. Oh boy, we got some big cards coming out from our opponent now. That's a really bad stat line for us to have to deal with. This one's been buffed a lot. This card could be like a Mistress of Mixtures that's like a 6/6 or 7/7. Which also would be bad for us. So I want a Yashiraj, I think, into Rag. No. What do we want? Something with lots of health. I'm thinking Malagos. I think Malagos would be the best thing for us. Unless we top deck. Oh, that's actually really good for us. That is really good for us. Oh, is there something we can do actually with Lightning Storm to clear this out? Because now this is only 5. Well, this is 5 and we just clear this. And then it's Yashiraj versus an Aldar Peacekeeper. Unless this is 3 to 4. Always squelch. 3 to 4. 3 to 4. Oh, it's unfortunate. We just don't need the health right now. Like, if we needed the health, this would actually be okay. But since we don't, I feel like this is the best play. We just want something with big health. Any of our big minions are fine. Ysera's a great minion. Yeah, Ysera's a pretty good minion, I guess. Ysera, and I've talked about this actually recently, how Ysera is basically a win condition unto herself. Or at least almost is strong enough to be in a control-oriented anti-aggro style of deck. You can almost use Ysera as your...
The menagerie is for...
Whoa, whoa, Curator! Oh, this is a really mid-rangey style of deck going on here. No equality, though. No equality. There's the last Peacekeeper. There we go. Let's get these buffed minions out. Oh, he's just going to attack into it, try and get rid of it ASAP. That's not going to work, friend. Feral Spirits are pretty good, I guess. Is there any totem I want? I want to attack first, is what I want to do to get this healing value. And then we want... We hope there's... Yeah. We clear the board is what we like. We want healing totem. Healing is the best totem. Taunt's okay, I guess. And I didn't want to play wolves. I feel like there's no real benefit to it. What did we get? A Barnes? 2 games in a row? Actually, not 2 games in a row. I did have a... And this is really good for Tyrion and or Good Guy Rag. Just get rid of them. Pump in the face damage. Our opponent's actually outdrawn us quite a bit. Because we've had 2 turns of Yashiraj right now. And they're still ahead of us. I guess their Curator got them up a little bit. I don't know what else drew because I didn't let their Acolyte of Pain draw at all. Oh. This is an interesting choice. I feel like this... I don't even know what you would want, to be honest with you. You don't want Warlock at this point. Warlock's a no-go. I guess... Like, I was going to say Druid or Mage are always basically good. Rogue is kind of questionable because the weapon action. Whoa, that's a pretty big Acidic Swamp Ooze. This too. Yes. Perfect, perfect. We got a chance here. We just need to top deck Lightning Storm or Maelstrom Portal. Ooh, that's not what we want to top deck. That's not what we want. How are we gonna deal with this? How are we... Can't... Okay, so I'm gonna dream this, I think, every time. Oh, Elemental Destruction is just so bad for us since we kind of have the board. It's not fair to say that we actually have the board right now. Okay, let's think about this. Let's think about this. We are gonna Feral Spirits. The 4 can go here. 4 and a 5. We don't need... Yeah, we don't need this anymore. We can get rid of this. Attacking in. We still hope we get Healing Totem. Healing is still the best totem. There we go. That's actually pretty good for us. Gets a couple of these. Oh, what happens? No draw? Okay, no draw is the best draw. And Ysera Awakens. Here we go, helping us find our lethal somehow in this game of attrition. And if that ooze comes back, we'll be better suited to deal with it now that we have a couple more minions on board. It was a 6-5, right? 95% sure. Yeah, 6-5. So we trade in. That was the idea. I didn't say it out loud, but I was thinking that. We have the 5 health to deal with it. Or 5 attack, I should say, to deal with it. Tyrion is actually really bad for us right now. Yep, Tyrion is still bad for us. Azure Drake is pretty bad for us. I think we leave him alone. Oh, that's bad as well. That is kind of also bad. Oh, okay. We are going to Healing Wave Ysera, I think. We are totally Healing Waving Ysera. Because Ysera is going to be our win condition here.
On with the show.
So these 2 go here. This goes here.
I shall bring you rest.
That's fine. And we're going to get to utilize this health a little bit more. Now we will get an actual draw. Hopefully Rag. Malagos is also kind of cool. Well, hey, guess what? Oh, and Dream is also really good for to help us push for a little bit of lethal here. And our opponent's still ahead. We're drawing 2. We're thinning our deck by 2 every turn. Our opponent's still keeping pace. Am I thinking about this wrong? Please let me know. Please. Please. Victory is ours, friends. That was pretty fun. It was interesting to see us be able to grind these, grind this deck out. Ooh, what is that now? 1, 2, 3? 3 wins away from rank 5 plateau, if we keep going on it. And we'll see. Stay tuned. I'll see you the next time.